Hello. I've decided that one of my New Year's resolutions this year, as well as sort of choosing my own books rather than being swayed by things I see on BookTube as I was last year, is to use my library more. And so this is my first book that I picked up from the library. And it's Here is the Beehive by Sarah Crossan. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And it's a book in verse. I do love books in verses, but the books that are written in verse, you know what I mean? And this is almost, it's the story of, I would describe it as a toxic relationship, but other people might have different ideas. The blurb: what happens when you lose something the world never knew was yours? So it's a story of loss, and it's a story of grief. Anna and Connor have been having an affair for 3 years. Anna is married to Paul and has 2 children, and Connor is married to Rebecca and they have 3. But Connor and Anna start this affair when Connor goes to her to have his will drawn up because she's a solicitor. And it's the story, it is the story in here as well. You get the story of their relationship. Anna finds out that Connor's dead when his wife rings her to know about the will. And that's her first inkling of anything that's gone wrong. She hadn't been able to get hold of him, but there were times in the relationship when she couldn't get hold of him. And so it's the story of her grief and her loss and how she unravels, because there is nobody that she can talk to, because nobody knew about this affair. There's nobody she can have a shoulder to cry on. She's coping with all this on her own. And the book, in the verse, it flits backwards and forwards. It flits to her childhood. It flits to the beginning of their relationship. We have bits about her relationship with her husband. We have the parts of the affair. And we have her dealing with this tremendous grief as well. And as it says in the blurb, I'm not giving any spoilers away, it's all in the blurb, the only person that she can turn to is Connor's wife, the woman that he would never leave her for. So she gets herself into Rebecca's circle. And as you're reading it, you do sympathise with her, because it must be absolutely awful to have this dreadful grief and loss and have no one to turn to for solace. But I didn't like her as a character. I thought she wasn't a very nice character at all. I felt tremendously sorry for her husband, Paul. Tremendously. And he comes through this as a really sweet and nice guy. Connor, I didn't really like either. You get the two of them together, it was almost a toxic relationship. And Rebecca, she's a grieving widow, but she's a stronger character. So this is a super read. I read it in just over a day, because with the verse, you just whiz through it. It did get a little bit of getting the hang of, because it does flit between different timelines, because it's a first-person narrative. It's all through Anna's voice. But super. It's a real exploration of grief and loss, and an exploration almost of a toxic relationship. I loved it. So that was Here is the Beehive by Sarah Crossan. And if I've pronounced her name, I do apologise. So happy reading. Take care.